Konnichiwa friends, I am Sekai X Arts and Animations, and today I'm going to be practicing stuff that I don't want to. Today, that stuff is realism. For those of you who have been watching my channel a lot, you'll know that I draw mostly cartoons, anime, or something anime adjacent. Pretty much anything that is the opposite of realism. Let me tell you, I hate drawing in realistic style. It takes forever, it has to look so bad before it even looks halfway decent, and there's almost no room for creative interpretation. I really enjoy adding cool, unique elements to make my characters look interesting, and while yes, you can do that in realistic style, it's a lot harder to do without it just looking really weird. Also, most of what I draw is character designs, which are pretty much never done in realistic style for pretty obvious reasons. Character designs are mostly for cartoons, so you draw the character in a cartoon style. Duh. I've tried to do some realism before, and it didn't turn out that great. Now, I told myself a long time ago when I was struggling with realism that I wasn't going to be a realism artist, and that was okay. Realism isn't for everyone, and while that definitely is okay, it doesn't make you any less of an artist if you don't draw realism. The reason that I quit wasn't that I didn't like how realism looked or didn't value the skill. Instead, I quit because realism was really hard for me, and I didn't want to put in the work to get any better, which is a terrible reason to quit something. Since then, I've come to realize that there's only one way I was going to get good at realism: drawing it, critiquing it, and then drawing it again. My philosophy is, what's the point of doing something if it can't be perfect? Which is why learning anything that I'm not immediately good at is tough. But I've decided to sit my bottom down and try my hardest so that I can improve. No pain, no gain, right? I won't talk through my process in this video because I had no clue what I was doing while drawing this. It was a lot of experimenting, drawing, erasing, and then drawing again, but that's pretty much any and all art. One huge non-art related mistake I made while doing this is that I didn't use any references or look up any tutorials. I went in completely blind, which is honestly kind of hilarious, because I am one of the biggest advocates for using references. I don't understand the people who are like, no, references are cheating. I mean, you can't remember what everything looks like perfectly all the time. I mean, for goodness sakes, use references, people. Anyways, I didn't use any references for this piece at all, which was a massive mistake. It's almost impossible to learn anything without some form of instruction. Imagine trying to make a perfect creme brulee for the first time with only the name to go on. No recipe, no video, no help at all, just pure inductive inference. I don't know, maybe some people can do that, but I certainly wouldn't recommend it. You'll learn better and faster by doing some research and having some help. In my case, just slapping how to draw realism into YouTube or Google and clicking on some videos would have really helped me, but I didn't do that, and I think you can tell. I do want to note that there is a huge difference between semi-realism, realism, and photo or hyperrealism. Semi-realism has realistic proportions, but is clearly not a photo. The rendering isn't always as smooth, and some drawings may even still have line art. Some good examples of this are like Lavender Town's annual realism challenges. Realism almost looks like a photo, but is just a little bit off. Think about pieces like the Mona Lisa or colonial American art. They're really, really close, but something's just not quite there. And then there's photo/hyperrealism. This is what most people think of when they hear realism or realistic art. This is like, dang, is that a photo art? Just look up photorealistic drawing or the artist Lang Jun, I hope I'm pronouncing his name right, and you'll see what I mean. What I was going for here was something between semi-realism and realism. Now I am getting close to the end of the drawing here, and because this is my first attempt at realism in a while, I obviously have some critiques for myself that I thought I'd share with you all. Number 1, she is way too shiny. If you look at yourself, unless you just showered or haven't showered in weeks, people aren't really that glossy. Number 2, she's too smooth. This kind of goes along with the shiny thing, but in general, it just kind of looks like her skin is made of some sort of clay. Number 3, I cannot render clothes. I should have looked up a reference for this, but I didn't, so they just look really, really strange. Number 4, I don't know where to put hard shadows. In real life, everything is pretty much a mix of hard and soft shadows. I typically default to soft shadows unless I'm doing purely cell shading. Like I mentioned in number 2 though, this makes her look kind of like she's made of clay. Number 5, she has almost no expression. Her face just kind of looks odd in general. I'm not really sure what that's about, honestly. It almost looks like her eyes are too far apart, but you saw me measure them about one eye width apart, so not quite sure what happened. Either way, I'm really glad I did this. I have a lot of stuff that I need to practice but just don't want to, and I think it's a great idea to just sit down and suffer through it. Even if the result doesn't look very good, you can't get better at something without practicing it. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Please consider liking and subscribing, it really helps me out, and let me know what things you want to draw but are dreading to learn. And I will see you in the next one.